Hey everyone, hope you're having a wonderful day this morning. Wanted to talk today about Reptile Expos, actually. It's one of the big gatherings that we all do in the reptile community that allows many different breeders of various different species to be able to come together and to be able to share their passions with their particular projects, some of the different species that they breed, and everything like that. And as a way to support the community, uh, I actually am hosting a Reptile Expo in just a couple of weeks. So I wanted to take some time to share some of the things that you may need or want to know if you want to potentially host your own expo in your town or somewhere around where you live if there aren't many around. So if this is something that you want to learn a little bit more about, stick around. Hey everyone, welcome back. I don't know if I introduced him in the very beginning of the video, but this here is my boy Ace. I named him Ace because I won him in a contest, just a raffle when I was at a expo a few years ago. And I mean, he's gotten really nice and big. He's really just a calm, chill boy, but I wanted to pull him out as I talked a little bit about uh, the, being able to host your own expo. Now, this is not going to be an in-depth video on it. This is just going to touch on a couple of the basics if you're interested in being able to host your own event. And the first key that you want is to make sure that you're part of the community. Go to a few other expos and find the things that you like and dislike about that particular show or the shows that are in your area and see what you might be able to offer a little bit differently. At the same time, network. Network, network, network. Meet with the vendors that are there at the shows that you're visiting. Get to know a little bit more about what they have to offer and make true connections, because that's going to be one of the very integral parts of trying to host your own event is establishing those connections with people. The next is location. Where are you going to have an event if you want to host it? That's a big thing to take into consideration. Being able to find a location that's going to be able to have a lot of tables and everything like that. Some people will use a firehouse hall and do something a little bit on the smaller side. Uh, I'm hosting with Tim a show that's at a hotel stretched across 4 conference rooms. So it's a little bit of a larger event. Take a look at things like Tinley and NARBC and how they use the big convention centers and all of those different rooms and everything like that. So there's lots of different venue concepts that you can use when choosing your location. So you've got your networking aspect and trying to figure out what you're going to be offering. You've got finding a location. The next big thing is making sure that the local laws for where that venue are will actually allow you to have a reptile show. And this is important before you book a location. We were researching locations to host a summer and fall show in a larger venue, because the venue that we have for our spring show coming up will not be available after the end of the month because they're kind of switching ownership, which kind of sucks. But we needed to find an alternative location to be able to host the show and space, because we grew a lot bigger than what we thought we were going to very quickly. But in that search, we actually found that there are a couple of cities that are very close to home for me that don't actually allow any type of reptile at all. And I was kind of shocked, because searching online and everything like that in general, most places in New York, except for New York City, don't have many regulations listed. And then I'm like, well, that kind of sucks, so we can't use that location. We ended up finding out after making several phone calls and doing some research that the location that we ended up choosing wasn't part of that city. It's actually in its own township, so it follows our state laws instead of those particular city laws, so we can actually have the event there, which we were happy about. But it's making sure that you're compliant, because that's one of the biggest things that can make or break a show very quickly, is the the location and or the location falling through. So it's one of those, don't count your snake eggs before they hatch. I say that as it's Easter and eggs and everything like that. Yeah, I know. Corny joke. But it's one of those things to take into consideration. But otherwise, the last thing that I'll talk about is making sure that you make it known. Use social media as much as you can to bring attention to the show that you're trying to do. But when you're doing it, make sure that you're communicating not only to the potential customers, the potential audience that's going to be coming to the show, but to the vendors as well. It's really important to keep a clear line of communication with your vendors, and making sure that they know where their table is going to be, that that having that communication with you as the host is going to be an important thing, because that's going to create that connection for them to want to return to future events that you might host. So it's making sure you don't burn those bridges, because without the different breeders that you have at your shows, without the exhibits, the show is not going to happen. So it's making sure that you have those core key components. If you guys want to know more of the nitty gritty of the different things that you might want to take into consideration with running your own expo, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to kind of go through a little bit more in detail with my experience with other event planning and how I actually applied it to being able to work with Tim to put on the show that we're going to be putting on. I mean, we started off thinking that we were going to fill maybe 50 or 60 tables, and we had 2 rooms at the hotel, and we ended up having to get all 4 rooms and more tables just because of the outpouring and the interest. So it was a unique experience with that, and that's why we looked for an alternative venue space to house future events that is much, much, much larger. So it's something that can grow into a business of itself. So if you liked what I discussed today, or this kind of stuff interests you, please do like this video. And also, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification button to get alerted when I do new videos. I tend to try to post new videos on Mondays. But until next time, this is Ace. I'm Jack. You're watching Python Addiction. Hey everyone. Just getting ready to upload this current video, and I noticed that we hit the first big milestone for the channel. And I just got 100 subscribers. So I wanted to take a minute to thank all of you guys for your support. It means so much. So again, thank you.